This is the kind of crazy stuff that happens here in Australia when the wrong people are in charge of powerful organizations. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Some of you might have seen my story. I was talking about what happened after the hit piece from Spotlight, a Channel 7 news television station here in Australia. They did an anti-EV hit piece to try to get people to stop buying electric cars in Australia. As a result, some people paid attention and believed everything in it, even though half of the stuff was complete nonsense. What happened was a Shire council here in Queensland in Australia, they threw out 8 years of work to build a public electric vehicle charging station on the grounds of what The Driven says are vague claims of human rights problems in battery manufacturing. Then they voted to keep the work going. Last week, the Livingston Shire Council voted to cancel a deal to install the Capricorn Coast first EV charger. And here's the thing, there's not many chargers up there, so that's the problem. And that was a follow-up meeting held on Thursday, then reversed the decision initially, failing to win over the required number of 4 councillors. A surprise second motion from the mayor, who clearly appears to be against these EV chargers, reversing last week's decision while also asking state and national local government associations to investigate renewables, got up. So the mayor of this local town is asking the federal government and the state government here in Australia. It's like a little local mayor in the United States demanding Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Obama or whoever investigate renewables because he's claiming that they're all vested interests and they're actually some sort of scam intended to trick us all. Council rescinds the motion adopted at the ordinary council meeting on the 15th of April that council suspends any further action on advancing electric vehicle charging station until further notice as a result of concerns identified in recent media, said Mayor Adam Belot. I'm confused because there's so much backwards and forwards by this Shire Council that it's hard to follow the story. You're probably finding that right now. Between the two motions, the councillors were told EV Networks, the charger provider, had pulled out of the deal the day before due to the reputation risk, particularly with this site, and the hefty tariff charges imposed by local electricity network provider Ergon Energy. Then, on Thursday, the 3 councillors in favour of installing an EV charger, by the way, this is only one charger, it's not like a whole stall of them, pleaded with their colleagues to think of the community rather than problems created in myriad global supply chains. They also pointed out the council could lose its eco accreditation gained on the 1st of April and miss out on significant tourism revenue. If we do not have a charger installed, we have an extreme threat. I'll just say that again. Extreme threat of losing this accreditation at the next audit, said Councillor Andrea Friend. In 2032, the Olympic Games will be upon us. The spectators and participants will be travelling by electric vehicles that will need a charger installed on the Capricorn Coast so that we can entice their visitation to our area. We want tourism. Interestingly, I should point out, sites in Australia, hotels and tourist parks and in the United States get 44% more traffic online than sites that don't have EV chargers. Really worth considering that when you decide what you're going to do at your local business or at your place, in your council, for example. A representative from the Australian Vehicle Association highlighted the risk to tourism in the region as more and more people switch to electric cars. By the way, more and more people switch to electric cars. Most of those cars are use batteries that are lithium iron phosphate, and those batteries don't have any kind of materials of concern, whether that's cobalt or nickel. I recently met a couple at the Rockhampton charger behind the City Council who were in a BYD Atto 3. They had visited Yeppoon, but had not been able to stay more than one night because they couldn't find a charger here, said AEVA member Arthur Hunt. The Driven says, they went on to say, I also am aware of a visitor who flew to Rockhampton from Victoria to visit family. He thought he'd do the right thing and he hired an EV at Rockhampton Airport. Problem. Coming from Victoria, he thought he'd have plenty of chargers here. He got down here and found there weren't any at all, which is crazy. He had to curtail his visit, wasn't able to visit the attractions that he wanted to visit, and had to drive back to Rockhampton Airport. And obviously, he's not going to recommend going there. There are many tourists who bypass the Capricorn coast because there are no public chargers shown on the PlugShare app they use to plan their trips. Now, the Driven says that Councillor Rhodes Watson pointed out that if Belot was basing his about face, the mayor was basing his change of opinion, change of decision, on the heavily debunked Channel 7 news report on nickel manufacturing in Indonesia, the council now needed to examine all supply chains. You can't just pick on EVs, he said during the meeting. Mr. Mayor, I ask you, if we don't pass this today, that you put up a notice of motion to stop the purchase of all mobile phones, solar batteries, laptops, kids' toys, to remove battery scooters from roads as well. And obviously, stainless steel is the main consumer of nickel. I mean, more than 70% of nickel worldwide is used for stainless steel. There's no mention about that whatsoever. Please, councillors, I ask you to vote to continue with the installation of the charger and work on other avenues to solve real-world issues. The rejected motion put forward by Friend was followed by Belot, or the Mayor's version, that also factored in asking both the Queensland and national local government associations to investigate the ethics, which they say are bad, of all renewables around the world. The mayor justified his position by repeating his original claims that 7 News' nickel investigation proved the whole battery manufacturing industry is suspect, but also widened that to the whole entire renewable energy sector as well, which is an absolutely wild claim. Deputy Mayor Pat Eastwood said the move to delay an EV charger on the coast wasn't about being right-wing, but to allow the council to educate themselves, notwithstanding the amount of time council workers have been working on the project. They've had 8 years to educate themselves. Clearly, that wasn't long enough, they're saying. The meeting was standing room only for members of the public who loudly voiced their annoyance and irritation at the attack on renewable energy and the rejection of installing any local chargers in the township. Are petrol and diesel ethically environmental industries? I mean, are they, guys? Diesel and petrol? Gasoline, are these ethical industries? One member of the public called out. Obviously, the mayor pretended not to hear that. With the deadline for submissions to the National Conference in June now closed, that move means the council will wait until next year to put the motion forward. Basically, the council have decided, no, they're not going to install an EV charger because electric cars are bad. The vote on Thursday means the deadline imposed by EV to retain $320,000 in funding is no longer applies, and that was set by EV Networks, so it could start planning for construction, but the council will stand to lose $4,000 plus CPI in revenue a year for the next 15 years in licence fees for the public land. Basically, they're licensing this land, doing nothing with it, and it's clearly just ridiculous, fiscally irresponsible. The mayor of this town is just an absolute muppet. I don't know why he was voted. Maybe he's got a bunch of mates who, aren't all that smart, and they voted him in. I've got no idea how this came about. But as you can see here, unfortunately, many people have, I believe, pretty strongly vested interest in fossil fuels, keeping the status quo, not changing, avoiding any form of change. And their justification of it is nonsensical. It's ridiculous, saying the entire renewables energy sector is ethically amoral. It's just madness. What do you guys think? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments.